Shalom and good morning. This will be Exodus 36 to the end. We're going to finish Exodus today. And Betsael and Oholiab and every wise-hearted man in whom Yahuwah has given wisdom and understanding to know how to do all work for the service of the set-apart place shall do according to all that Yahuwah has commanded. And Moshe called Betsael and Oholiab and every wise-hearted man in whose heart Yahuwah had given wisdom, everyone whose heart lifted him up to come and do the work. And they received from Moshe all the contribution which the children of Israel had brought from the work of the service of making the set apart place. But they still brought to him voluntary offerings every morning. So all the craftsmen who were doing all the work of the set apart place came, and from the work he was doing. And they spoke to Moshe, saying, The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which Yahuwah commanded us to do. Then Moshe commanded, and they sent this word throughout the camp, saying, Let neither man nor woman do any more work for the contribution of the set apart place. And the people were withheld from bringing, for what they had was enough for all the work to be done, more than enough. Then all the wise-hearted ones among them who worked on the dwelling place made 10 curtains woven of fine linen and blue and purple and scarlet material. They made them with cherubim, the work of skilled workmen. The length of each curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, all the curtains having one measure. And he joined 5 curtains one to another, and the other 5 curtains he joined one to another. And he made loops of blue on the edge of the end curtain of one set. The same he did on the edge of the end curtain of the other set. 50 loops he made on one curtain, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the end curtain of the second set. The loops held one curtain to another. And he made 50 hooks of gold, and joined the curtains to each other with the hooks, and the dwelling place became one. And he made curtains of goat hair, and he made curtains of goat hair for the tent over the dwelling place. He made 11 curtains. The length of each curtain was 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, the 11 curtains having one measure. And he joined 5 curtains by themselves and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops on the edge of the end curtain in one set, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the curtain of the second set. And he made 50 bronze hooks to join the tent to be one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram's skin dyed red, and a covering of fine leather above that. And for the dwelling place he made boards of acacia wood standing up. The length of each board was 10 cubits, and the width of each board 1.5 cubits. Each board had 2 tenors for binding one to another. So he did to all the boards of the dwelling place. And he made boards for the dwelling place, 20 boards for the south side. And he made 40 sockets of silver to go under the 20 boards, and 2 sockets under each of the boards for its tenons. And for the other side of the dwelling place, and for the north side, he made 20 boards. And there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under the one board, and 2 sockets under the other board. And he made 6 boards for the west side of the dwelling place. And he made 2 boards for the 2 back corners of the dwelling place, and they were double breadth. And similarly, they were complete to the top by one ring. So he did to both of them for the 2 corners. And there were 8 boards, and their silver sockets, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under each of the boards. And he made bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the dwelling place, and 5 for the bars and 5 bars for the boards on the other side of the dwelling place, and 5 bars for the boards of the dwelling place at the rear, westward. And he made the middle bar to pass through the boards from one end to the other. And he overlaid the boards with gold, and their rings he made of gold to be holders of the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine worked linen. It was made with cherubim, the work of a skilled workman. And he made 4 columns of acacia wood for it, and overlaid them with gold. with their hooks of gold, and he cast 4 sockets of silver for them. And he made a covering for the tent door of blue and purple and scarlet material and fine woven linen made by a weaver, and its 5 columns with their hooks, and he overlaid their tops and their rings with gold, but their 5 sockets were of bronze. We're making all the things. Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, and 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits, and he overlaid it with clean gold, inside and outside, and made a molding of gold all around it. And he cast 4 rings of gold for its 4 feet, 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on its other side, and he made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. And he put the poles into the rings at the sides of the ark to lift the ark, and he made a lid of atonement of clean gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. And he made 2 cherubim of beaten gold. He made them from 2 ends of the lid of atonement, 1 cherubim at one end on this side, and the other cherubim at the other end on that side. He made the cherubim from the lid of atonement from the 2 ends, and the cherubim spread out their wings above and covered the lid of atonement with their wings. With their faces toward each other, the faces of the cherubim were turned toward the lid of atonement. And he made the table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, and 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. And he overlaid it with clean gold, and made a molding of gold all around it. And he made a rim of a handbreadth all around it, and made a molding of gold for the rim all around it. And he cast 4 rings of gold for it, and he put the rings in the 4 corners that were at its 4 legs. The rings were next to the rim as holders for the poles to lift the table. And he made the poles of acacia wood to lift the table, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the utensils which were on the table, its dishes, and its cups, and its bowls, and its jars for pouring of clean gold. And he made the lampstand of clean gold. He made the lampstand of beaten work. Its base and its shaft, its cups, its ornamental knobs, and its blossoms were from it. And 6 branches came out of its sides, 3 branches on the lampstand out of one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side. There were 3 cups like almond flowers on one branch, with ornamental knobs and blossoms, and 3 cups like almond flowers on the other branch, a knob and a blossom. So for the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. And on the lampstand there were 4 cups like almond flowers, its knobs and blossoms, and a knob under the first 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the second 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the third 2 branches of the same, for the 6 branches coming out of it. Their knobs and their branches were of it. All of it was one beaten work of clean gold. And he made its 7 lamps, and its snuffers, and its trays of clean gold. He made it of a talent of clean gold, and all its utensils. And he made the incense slaughter place of acacia wood, 1 cubit long and 1 cubit wide, square, and 2 cubits high. Its horns were on it, and he overlaid it with clean gold, its top and its sides all around, and its horns. And he made a molding for it of gold all around it. And he made 2 rings of gold for it under its molding, and 2 corners on both sides, as holders for the poles with which to lift it. And he made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the set apart anointing oil, and the clean incense with sweet spices, according to the work of the perfumer. And he made the slaughter place of ascending offering of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide, square, and 3 cubits high. And he made its horns on its 4 corners. The horns were on it, and he overlaid it with bronze. Sorry, I need a drink. I should have stopped at 38. All right, forgive me for that. Thank you. 38, verse 3. And he made all the utensils for the slaughter place, the pots and the shovels and the basins and the forks and the fire holders. He made all its utensils of bronze. And he made a grating for the slaughter place, a bronze network under its rim, midway from the bottom. And he cast 4 rings from the 4 corners of the bronze grating and as holders for the poles. And he made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with bronze. And he put the poles into the rings on the sides of the slaughter place with which to lift it. He made the slaughter place hollow with boards. And he made the basin of bronze and its stand for bronze from the bronze mirrors of the serving women who did serve at the door of the tent of appointment. And he made the courtyard for the south side. The screens of the courtyard were of fine woven linen, 100 cubits long. Their 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze. The hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the north side, their screens were 100 cubits long. Their 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze. The hooks on the columns and their boards and their bands were of silver. And for the west side, there were screens of 50 cubits. Their 10 columns and their 10 sockets, their hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the east side, eastward, 50 cubits. 15 cubits of screen on the one side, and then with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets, and 15 cubits of screen. Okay, so there's just a gap. I think I'm understanding. Yeah, just a gap. And 15 cubits of screen the other side of the courtyard gate, and on the side, and on this side, and that side, and with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets. And the screen of the courtyard all around were fine woven linen. And the sockets for the column were of bronze. The hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver, and the overlay of their tops was of silver. And all the columns of the courtyard had bands of silver. And the covering for the gate of the courtyard was the work of an embroiderer, of blue and purple and scarlet material, and of fine woven linen, and 20 cubits long, and the height along its width was 5 cubits, corresponding to the screens of the courtyard. And the columns were 4, and their sockets of bronze 4. Their hooks were of silver, and the overlay of their tops and their bands was of silver. And all the pegs of the dwelling place and of the courtyard all around were of bronze. These were the appointments of the dwelling place of the witness, which was appointed by the mouth of Moshe, for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. And Bethael, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah, made all that Yahuwah had commanded Moshe. And with him Oholiab, son of Ahishkamech, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and a designer, an embroiderer in blue and purple and scarlet material, and in fine linen. All the gold prepared for the work, and all the work of the set-apart place, and it was the gold of the wave offering, came to be 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the set-apart place. And the silver from the ones counted of the congregation was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the set-apart place. Becca, half a shekel for a head, according to the shekel of the set-apart place, for everyone passing over to those counted, from 20 years old and above, for 603,550 men. And the 100 talents of silver were for casting the sockets of the set-apart place, and the bases of the veil, 100 sockets from the 100 talents, a talent for each socket. And of the 1,775 shekels, he made hooks for the columns, and overlaid their tops, and made bands for them. And the bronze of the wave offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And with it he made the sockets for the door of the tent of appointment, and the bronze slaughter place, and the bronze grating for it, and all the utensils for the slaughter place, and the sockets for the courtyard all around, and the bases for the courtyard gate, and all the pegs for the dwelling place, and all the pegs for the courtyard all around. And of the blue and purple and scarlet material they made woven garments to do service in the set-apart place, and they made the set-apart garments which were for Aaron, as Yahuwah had commanded Moshe. And he made the shoulder garment of gold, of blue and purple and scarlet material, and of fine woven linen. And they beat out sheets of gold, and cut it into threads, to work it into the blue and purple and scarlet material, and the fine linen, the work of a skilled workman. They made shoulder pieces for it to join it. It was joined at its 2 edges. And the embroidered band of his shoulder garment that was on it was of the same work of gold, and blue and purple and scarlet material, and of fine woven linen. as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And they made the shoham stones set in plated work of gold, engraved as signets are engraved, according to the names of the sons of Israel. And he put them on the shoulders of the shoulder garment, stones of remembrance for the sons of Israel, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he made the breastplate a work of a skilled workman, like the work of a shoulder garment, of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet material, and of fine woven linen. It was square. They made the breastplate double, its length a span, its width a span, doubled. And they filled it with 4 rows of stones. A row of ruby, a topaz, and an emerald was the first row. In the second row, a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond. In the third row, a jacinth, and a agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth row, a beryl, a shoham, and a jasper. Set in plated work of gold in their settings. And the stones were according to the names of the sons of Israel, 12 according to their names, engraved like a signet, each one with their own name according to the 12 tribes. And they made braided chains of corded work for the breastplate at the ends of clean gold. And they made 2 settings of gold and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 cords of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate, and the 2 ends of the 2 cords they fastened in the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the shoulder garment in the front. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, and on the edge of it, which was on the inward side of the shoulder garment. And they made 2 gold rings, and put them on the 2 shoulder pieces underneath the shoulder garment on the front of it, close to its seam above the embroidered band of the shoulder garment. And they bound the breastplate by means of its rings to the rings of the shoulder garment with a blue cord, so that it would be above the embroidered band of the shoulder garment, and that the breastplate would not come loose from the shoulder garment, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he made the robe of the shoulder garment in woven work, all of blue, and the opening of the robe was in the middle, like the opening in a scaled armor, with a woven binding all around the opening, so that it would not tear. And they made on the hem of the robe pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet material, twined. And they made bells of clean gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates on the hem of the robe, all between the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate, all around the hem of the robe, for the service as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And they made the long shirt of fine linen, the work of a weaver, for Aaron and his sons, and a turban of fine linen, and the turban ornaments of fine linen, and short trousers of fine woven linen, and a girdle of fine woven linen, the blue and purple and scarlet material, the work of an embroiderer, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And they made the plate of the set apart sign of dedication of clean gold, and wrote on it an inscription like the engraving of a signet, set apartness to Yahweh. And they put on it a blue cord to fasten it above on the turban, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And all the work of the dwelling place on the tent of appointment was completed. And the children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe, so they did. And they brought the dwelling place to Moshe, the tent and all its furnishings, its hooks, its boards, its bars, and its columns, and its sockets, and the covering of ram skins dyed red, and the covering of fine leather, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the witness with its poles, and the lid of atonement, the table and its utensils, and the showbread, the clean lampstand with its lamps, the lamps to be put in order, and all its utensils in the oil for light, and the slaughter place of gold, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the covering for the tent door, the bronze slaughter place and its bronze grating, its poles and all its utensils, the basin with its stand, the screens of the courtyard, its columns and its sockets, the covering for the courtyard gate, its cords and its pegs, and all the utensils for the service of the dwelling place, for the tent of appointment. The woven garments to do service in the set apart place, the set apart garments for Aaron the priest, and his sons' garments to serve as priests, according to all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe. So the children of Israel did all the work. And Moshe looked over all the work and saw they did it as Yahweh had commanded. So they had done, and Moshe blessed them. Okay, have another sippy and then we'll keep going. All right, chapter 40. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, on the first day of the first new moon, he would raise up the dwelling place of the tent of appointment, and shall put it in the ark of the witness, and screen the ark with the veil. And you shall bring in the table, and arrange what belongs on it, and bring in the lampstand, and light its lamps. And you shall set the slaughter place of gold for the incense before the ark of the witness, and put up the covering of the door to the dwelling place. And you shall set the slaughter place of the ascending offering before the door of the dwelling place of the tent of appointment, and shall set the basin between the tent of appointment and the slaughter place, and shall put water therein. And you shall set up the courtyard all around, and shall place the covering of the courtyard gate, and shall take the anointing oil, and shall anoint anoint the dwelling place and all that is in it, and shall set it and all the utensils apart, and it shall be set apart. And you shall anoint the slaughter place of the ascending offering and all its utensils, and set the slaughter place apart, and the slaughter place shall be most set apart. And you shall anoint the basin and its stand, and set it apart. And you shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tent of appointment, and wash them with water. And you shall put the set apart garments on Aaron, and anoint him, and set him apart to serve as priest to me. And you shall bring his sons, and put long shirts on them, and shall anoint them, as you anointed their father, and they shall serve as priests to me. And their anointing shall be for them an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. And Moshe did according to all that Yahweh had commanded him, so he did. And it came to be in the first new moon of the second year, on the first day of the new moon, that the dwelling place was raised up. And Moshe raised up the dwelling place, and placed its sockets, and set up its boards, and put in its bars, and raised up its columns, and spread the tent over the dwelling place, and put the covering of the tent on top of it, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he took the witness, and put it into the ark, and he put the poles throughout the rings of the ark, and put the lid of atonement on top of the ark, and brought the ark into the dwelling place, and placed the veil of the covering to screen off the ark of the witness, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the table and the tent of appointment on the north side of the dwelling place, outside the veil, and set the bread in order upon it before Yahweh, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the lampstand in the tent of appointment opposite the table on the south side of the dwelling place, and lit the lamps before Yahweh, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the gold slaughter place in the tent of appointment in front of the veil, and burned sweet incense on it, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he set up the covering to the door of the dwelling place, and he put the slaughter place of ascending offering before the door of the dwelling place on the tent of appointment, and offered upon it the ascending offering and the grain offering, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the basin between the tent of appointment and the slaughter place, and put water therein for washing. And Moshe and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet with water from it. And they went into the tent of appointment as they came near the slaughter place, they would wash as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he raised up the courtyard all around the dwelling place and the slaughter place, and placed the covering of the courtyard gate. And Moshe completed the work. And the cloud covered the tent of appointment, and the steam of Yahweh filled the dwelling place. And Moshe was not able to come into the tent of appointment, because the cloud dwelt on it, and the steam of Yahweh filled the dwelling place. And when the cloud was taken up from above the dwelling place, the children of Israel went onward in their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they did not set out till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of Yahweh was on the dwelling place by day, and fire was on it by night, before the eyes of all the house of Israel in all their journeys. That one was a little bit more difficult, but we built all the stuff. All the things. We built all the things. Let's go back here. All right, we got the high priest garments done. We made everything here. This is our bronze washing basin. Right, the Ark of the Witness. The lampstand of gold. All right, the showbread table. The slaughter place of incense. The slaughter place of ascending offering. And then the big illustration of the dwelling place. But we did it. We made it all. And we finished Exodus. That's 2 chapters down, guys. That's 2 chapters. Next we're going to move into Vayikra, Leviticus. As always, I love you. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you when we see you.